Hey there and welcome to another episode of FBS. I'm here today with Biskugelhausen.
Hello.
And also Fluxtrans. How's it going?
Hello. It's good.
Good. I'm glad everyone's doing good. Today, I'm going to be working on destroying everyone else's work as usual. But I did ask for permission this time. I think you're going to really enjoy the result or the outcome from this episode, because this is and you're looking at it on the screen right now. I'm going to be focusing the first section of this video on the parking lots that Jay did a few episodes back, except now we have these parking lot roads that came out, so it was worth it, I think, doing a little bit of an upgrade. Mm-hmm. And also later on the episode, I'm going to sort of be detailing, I would say, 70% of the interior ring of the airport, so hopefully we can get some better cinematics from now on, because I'm always trying to like point the camera at like things that are finished. Yeah. The more we go forward the series, the easier it gets. But hopefully this will make things look nicer in general. But man, these parking lot roads, they're really fun. You haven't either of you haven't played with this yet, right?
I haven't used it.
Yeah, I haven't either. Actually, I've just watched.
At the time of recording.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's gonna take a while for this to go live, but it's you're gonna see on this time lapse. It's so easy to cover huge areas with huge levels of detail. The way I'm gonna try to be mixing the different sizes that you get with it. It definitely helps if the land is flat, of course, because the mod itself, it has a whole set of parking lots that you can put, and they behave like parking lots. So right now, those big roads, those thick roads, they're just 2-lane roads in the middle, but they have no parking. So the only people will start using them as you put those assets in. You're gonna see me do that in just a minute, except the traffic of the whole airport flows so well that no one's really using the parking lot. So we might need to fake that in future episodes, add cars manually, though that would hit our prop count just a little bit. Mm-hmm. This is what I was talking about. So these are the ones, the parking lots that would actually have cars be parked at. And I did a little bit of refactoring, just not only on the parking lot area, but like in just a couple of minutes, I'm also going to be tweaking the toll booth that's at the very entrance of the parking lot. For the most part, I think I removed one of the roads, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't know why.
And placing crosswalks rather than removing them is weird to watch.
I know, right? Isn't that crazy? As I was doing that, I was like thinking, wow, I always want them out. But in this case, I wanted to add more detail to it. The roads themselves already are pretty decent when it comes to details. I mean, you can see the texture, the worn texture on the actual lanes. All I had to do here is add a few props to, for example, on the crosswalks themselves, I added some pedestrian signs, stuff like that. The parking lots, the spaces specifically, do have they have a lot of detail. They have like little parking bumps. What are they called?
I don't know.
The curb.
The curb, yeah.
The concrete curve at the end, and I try to mix it up because they do have like these EV parking lots, as well as obviously the handicapped ones. At first, I was trying to like adding regular ones, and then I realized, okay, if I do this like huge, because they come in like big sizes, if I do one of these huge parking spaces, and then man, I should probably put down some handicap spots because we don't have any. It's a very non-accessible airport.
Are you
another thing that sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, are you actually adding EV? You said EV at some point. Is that like actually a thing?
Like chargers. Yeah, they're over there, right by the handicap spots.
Oh, whoa! I didn't even notice that when I was looking. Yeah, at that.
And they actually work with the EVs from Green City.
Wait, really?
No EVs will drive it. Yeah,
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's a separate thing. It's a crazy tiny detail for them to add when traffic still only uses one lane, but
hey, we got EVs.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, one thing
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, one thing that we should probably do, and this is like an internal note for us as a production team, is we should probably back these up, because if this guy takes these assets from the workshop, we're
we're done.
Basically, I think like we can't even recover the save at this point.
Yeah,
it just breaks everything.
You mean the parking lot ones?
Yeah, like any of the custom roads, if someone takes it, if the asset is missing, I think it just breaks the save completely. So we should.
I think you're right.
Just a mental note here. Okay. So at this point, I started adding details, sort of following the same footsteps that Jay and Flux did. But I later changed my mind a little bit, especially in that area by the tunnel where there's curbs. I didn't like how that looked. Like I was literally putting curves and grass over grass, which didn't make a lot of sense. So in just a few minutes, I'm going to redo that and make it look a little bit more wild and less manicured, even though I'm using the manicured grass. There's like several attempts at getting the landscaping of this area right. I wasn't quite happy with any one design, so I always try to follow and use the same vegetation that you guys did, and all over the place. But I was trying to like come up with something that would look a bit more natural, especially because I didn't want to have like a whole, central park in the middle of the airport. The airports are usually pretty concrete heavy, right? So,
yeah.
I was trying to like fill in as much as I could with concrete, and also I wanted to spend some time adding some lights because I don't think we have done that in a while.
I was gonna say this game has a nighttime view.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Been building so far.
I started adding those red lights. I think they're like parking lots. They're specifically found in parking lots from like supermarkets. I feel like those are like very Costco-like.
Yeah, those look very like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I later changed them because they didn't look very realistic, like bright, because they're bright red. You can't see them right now because it's nighttime, but during the daytime, you'll see how bright red they are. They're a bit realistic, so I ended up changing them. In fact, talking about unrealism, you can see how crazy saturated the colors for the cones I'm putting down are. During this whole episode, I was just trying to tweak the graphic settings. I feel like we're all struggling with that a little bit.
Yeah.
Every time we record an episode, it's like we can never get the same settings right. But I think yeah. Sorry, you were gonna say something.
I was gonna say this is what we got that Roads United update, right? During this time, or just noticing like the road color changed or something?
I think that update was like 3 episodes
before?
ago.
Oh,
because the road's like that particular road looks a little bit green, but I think it's because there's a bit of an off shift on the color for the color correction mod, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's the case. But yeah, we've removed Roads United. I think pretty much 2 episodes ago, or 3 episodes ago even.
Yeah.
But so one thing I'm trying to do here as well is tackling all these entrances. Instead of using one of the national highways, I went straight up with like the regular street, except I turned off. I use Traffic Manager to remove the parking spaces so that everyone would use my parking spots and not that. But that didn't help at all, by the way. no one's really using my parking spaces.
Yeah.
But I try to make everything flow just a little bit nicer. I massage the roads in general a little bit. And it's right around here, I think. Yes, this is it. This to me was a mind-blowing change. This asset, even though it came out like, I would say like a few weeks before I started recording this episode, and by the time this episode goes out, it would have been like months
forever.
ago.
Yeah.
But this like node-based walls are incredibly flexible. They're going to be a huge part of this episode. I'm going to be using it to hide a lot of imperfections all over the place. I'll tell you about it, but I'm not going to hide the fact that I'm. It's just part of the detailing process. Just hide things or imperfections that you really can't control.
The undersides of the roads and all that stuff. Can I
specifically those? Yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Actually, I noticed that you're using the tilt shift, or the not the tilt shift, but the depth of field effect. What was the mod that was breaking that?
What's it called? The enhance zoom, or whatever the mod allows you to go into first person view, which I never use anyways. Yeah, so I removed that because I do like the tilt shift effect.
Because I haven't played with this in like literally a year, so like I'm really missing it. Like it's such a nice effect. Like it looks so much better than just the vanilla. Oh, it is vanilla.
I think it broke after mass transit.
Yeah, I think
because it used to be working like they used to work side by side.
Yeah, maybe I just haven't used it in a while. I don't know. I haven't played.
Yeah.
Well, you're getting real in there with that long line.
Yeah, that's okay. So that's the thing.
Like the helicopter camera.
That's the thing. Instead of using the first person view, which it doesn't even work. 'Cause, I mean, it would have been nice, or I would have kept it if you could at least build in that view. But it's just it removes all your controls. It uses your mouse to move around. So it's like, okay, screw this mod. And I just using cinematic camera mod to like zoom in really close. It's great.
This is actually insane. I've never seen anyone use it for that reason, but that's like so cool. Like it actually looks like.
I thought I got that idea from you. Really?
I've never done that before. Okay. Like I've used first person mod to like move
Maybe
down.
Maybe I got
there.
it from Jay or someone else.
Yeah, I've never seen that. That's really cool though. It's a good idea.
There's gonna be a lot of like zooming in and like moving the camera a lot. So I do apologize if this might be a bit of a seizure-inducing episode. Because getting like right underneath the freeway and just
it's
like
tough.
Tinkering with that takes quite a bit of practice. And in fact, one thing that I struggled a lot with, and you can kind of see it here, is when you look at this from above, these freeways, they look like they're kind of like right next to each other, but there's like a big gap in the middle.
Right.
That it's only visible at this very one camera angle. So, and the more noticeable ones, I ended up putting like bushes and things like that. Which, by the way, I'm also using there to sort of cover that jagged edge with the concrete.
Right.
And I think it works quite all right. But in general, and I think I'm about to do that now or not. I have recorded this a long time ago, so I don't know. But yeah, I try to cover those gaps with trees, and I think it came up pretty seamless, which is ultimately what we're trying to do. And I'm also here, like these walls, I'm using them for jersey barriers for the most part.
Yeah.
Just bringing them really low to the ground. In other projects that I've been working on, not FBS, I'm also using them as curves. Like if you have, for example, a national road or like on and off ramps from the freeway sets, you can use them. If you bring them really, really shallow, like very just above the surface, you can use them as curves, and they look absolutely fantastic. So I recommend you do that as well.
That's a good idea. I noticed that also the I just forgot what I was going to say. It was a question about the same. Oh, the jersey barriers. I really wish that we had jersey barriers that weren't terrain conforming. Like I know that that's really useful because obviously whenever you usually plop them, it's like on roads and stuff. But there's been so many times, like especially in this project, like the elevated, international terminal with the elevated pass-throughs and stuff. If we could just have like a jersey barrier or some kind of barrier that can be elevated, that would be like amazing. Because there's nothing on the workshop right now. It seems like you can do that with.
I think one of the ones I added, you can elevate, but if the underneath of the freeway is covered, so meaning it doesn't just float and it's just sitting on the pillars. You can technically use that node wall thing and elevate it to whatever height you want.
Right. Usually they're stacked though. That's what like the case has been lately.
Oh, so. I see. Yeah, not for stacked. Yeah, definitely not for stacked.
Yeah, we'd have to look into something else for that.
In any case, I'm moving on here to the other terminal that I think was loosely detailed by Jay a while back, maybe. I'm not sure. Or not.
Oh, that was actually me, I think. But just threw that in the front. Yeah, because
I think Jay, all you did was like add the stage. Like the last one who intervened here was you adding the station.
Oh yeah, probably. That actually would have been Jay.
Because you did.
Yeah, that might have been.
I had to move the station a little bit and using Prop It Up to remove all the unnecessary props. Except there is one prop that is the one that I hate the most, which is that lamp, the black lamp. Oh man, it's Prop It Up doesn't remove it. And there's one that is just sitting in the middle of the road, and I just couldn't do anything. I do apologize for that.
Ooh, yep, there it is. I see it.
Well, no, that one, the one you just saw, that one I ended up fixing. There's one in the middle of the loading area for passengers.
Just can't get.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah.
But that gap for what was that, Terminal 1 or 2? I think that was Terminal 1, right?
3.
No, I think it's 2 because 3 is the one that I did.
Nope, 2. Yeah, 2.
No,
right.
I think 1 is the international one. So this is the next.
No, the international doesn't have a number.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that one's Terminal 2. I'm pretty sure that's Terminal 2. That one had like a really small area in front of it. So that one is like 100% detail, pretty much good to go. All it needs, I think, is just the plane stands that you guys have been working on in previous episodes. I haven't done any runway stuff in this episode, by the way. I'm taking a little break from doing runway markings.
That's fair.
I mean, I'll definitely have to get back to that soon. But over here on the other end of the airport, I did some major surgery. I did remove some of the freeways that Jay put or lay down on episode 2, right? Or episode 3, I can't even remember.
Yeah, this is some old stuff.
I mean, the layout is the same. I just had to move them and create the biggest gap I could in between the different terminals so I could feed the most parking lot roads.
Right. Parking?
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably makes some sense.
What?
That probably makes some sense to do.
Yeah.
Shift. It was definitely really sliced up in the middle with the original layout.
Pretty much, yeah. One important thing that we discovered. Actually, this is a question for you, Flux, because I feel like we managed to get the pillars to not be a nuisance anymore. Did you notice that being fixed?
So it's so.
Oh, please tell me you.
No. It's fine. It's it's so annoying because for some reason when you save the game, it's fine. Like you send it to me and they load and they're still gone. They're still fixed. But if I try to move pillars, they do not get fixed. They reload, and I have no idea why. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I've never figured that out. So,
because I noticed like deleting the pillars using Move It brings them back.
Right.
Removing them with what is the
like
mod?
moving
Network skins.
Oh yeah.
Also brings them back.
Right.
But moving them and like I've been hiding a lot of those inside of buildings, just so you know.
Yeah.
And that one seems to work, but apparently I guess it doesn't.
It doesn't for me because like I can if I move them, even just like moving them out of the way of roads and stuff, they always move back for me when I respawn or when I reload. So I have no idea. I need to look into that. Maybe I have like some mod that I'm subscribed to that like isn't in the collection, so I'm never unsubscribing from it whenever I switch collections, and it's just like breaking it. I don't know. It's weird, but
yeah, that should be worth checking out. Just unsubscribe to everything. Yeah, we should probably double check that, but it's unlikely though. I don't think that's the case. Well, something else must be going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's fine because as long as you fix them, they stay. So are they? They get changed. So I'll just kind of let you do that.
Cool. Now over here, what I did is there was some random taxi depot plopped on somewhere. I don't even remember where. So I ended up moving it here and integrating with the rest. You'll also probably notice that I'm using some of these parking lots next to terminals for like security, as in like airport police and even maybe some like fire brigade or something like that. Mm-hmm. But like only vehicles that are just there for like emergencies.
Right.
Not really like a fire station or police station. And so I ended up moving this vanilla asset, this taxi depot, which for the most part looks decent, I think. And I stripped out everything from it completely. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Just a map. I think I was like using Google Maps to like find some references, but I ended up stripping all the fences, all of the parking space, just everything completely. And I'm also using these walls, man. I'm abusing these walls in this episode to no end, to create like a fence around it, which,
oh, wow.
that only uses like,
pillars too?
However many props are for those pillars that I included, which actually is worth explaining in detail. So there's some Beard Monkey assets for, that construction kit that he made. There's some columns there that you can use. They're like plain concrete columns, and I use those to like split different sections of these like node base wall. So I'm gonna be using that technique in many other places during this episode. You probably see it much more clearly because I kind of cut it over there. But the detailing around these stations is pretty straightforward for the most part. Just adding some of these concrete expansion joints. Nothing too fancy because there's you don't really spend that much time hanging out outside of the airport, at an airport. I don't know. Have you ever been to an airport that has like amazingly detailed parking spaces or something like that? I haven't.
Yeah, it's pretty boring.
No. Yeah. So
this, I believe, if this is the part that I think it is that I've actually seen earlier, you do something pretty crazy with this wall coming up, right?
Yeah. Okay. So now, as I was working with these walls, I was like, okay, I can do anything with these walls. So I started doing like this, like
here we go.
This wavy things. I was like, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna do some decorations with this. I actually kind of like how it turns out. It's like not I didn't like go really that crazy, but I just tried to add some more detail, and whilst saving on prop count, which is a very recurrent topic on this series.
I just say that's even a detail that you can't really do with props.
Yeah, no, actually
right?
not. Yeah,
because it's so curved and smooth. Like that's kind of, it needs the network, the custom network, to be able to work like that.
Yeah. There are some limitations with that mod, with that asset in particular. Sometimes, so for example, when you plop them down the first time, so basically you have to, it wants to snap to every other segment that you have around. So that's the first big issue, which is not an awful problem because there's ways around it. I ended up just like laying it down kind of outside of where I want it, and then just moving the nodes in place and raising it up. But let's say you raise up one segment of that wall. If you want to connect that segment again, it just tells you there's like an error, says the segment is too high, blah, 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 and it doesn't let you do it. By the way, I was struggling here with the glass. We talked about this 2 episodes ago. When you copy these assets, the glass just stays down. But yeah, I was trying to build a bridge here between the parking lot and the station.
That's very
it's
cool.
a bit more seamless. I don't think it makes, like if you zoom in like really detail, it doesn't really make sense what I'm doing there, but from far away, it looks spot on in my opinion. So yeah, you get that error when you're trying to use these walls if you raise them. So you basically have to like get all the nodes that you're gonna need ahead of time, and then you move them and raise them in place as you wish.
Huh.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky.
I mean,
but
is this one about to get wavy? Oh yeah.
it does. Yeah, it does yield some good results. And actually, when I was doing this wavy thing, I was like thinking, okay, maybe you know what would be cool if I can use this structure to have a pedestrian bridge crossing over the freeway, which is what I'm doing now. And I'm trying to use the imperfections of the segments, not, when concrete kind of creeps in from below because like the nodes are too close. I was trying to use that as a design tool a little bit. I ended up fixing that and making it look a bit better because it was like too dangerous maybe. And I'm also putting down some pillars here, some manually placed pillars, because when you're trying to do those like tight connections, like the game just deletes your pillars.
Right.
When you want the pillars, they're gone, and when you don't want them, they're there right in front.
They're still there.
Yeah. Again, for the most part, trying to follow the same design pattern. There's so much crap underneath that terminal. You have no idea how many nodes and things are hidden there. I think most of that was that you, Flex? I think who did all that.
Do what? The height?
Like hide a lot of stuff underneath that terminal.
Oh,
maybe it was me actually.
It might have been you because I don't think I put anything under there. But I looked at it. I saw it.
Yes, it's very popular. Whoever built it. It's a very popular terminal.
Yeah, exactly. It is pretty popular, but no one wants to drive there, or at least use public transportation for getting in and out. One thing I'm doing here, by the way, is like, I was thinking, because I did this whole segment of roads and parking lots, but I figured, hey, let's assume that at some point they change the way people moved around parking lots, so this road became like disabled. So I basically making it look abandoned. And I'm using this vanilla grass clusters. I think they came out with green cities, but they're like available. I don't have green cities, by the way, but you can use them, and they look really, really nice because I think they're like green rooftops or something like that is what the asset is called.
I was wondering, are you searching roof and getting
Wait, you don't have green cities?
I don't.
Oh,
no.
I don't either.
Wait, what? Oh, I use green cities in the next episode.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, I guess you'll have to buy me a copy.
Just like I bought every other copy of all the other DLC to do Sinu.
Because we had it. That's I'm fine. I've kind of been looking for an excuse to buy.
I even bought Green City because I thought you had it and I had to use it for Sinu. I just bought all the DLC because I just assumed that I didn't want to make that mistake again and have.
I think I specifically mentioned not.
Yeah, you probably did.
Well, we have to have a conversation off camera about this. I mean, I'm curious to what you did in the next episode. At this point, I have no idea. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
No, and we're not going to spoil it for you. So nice try, everybody listening.
Exactly. Yeah.
Almost got it out of us. You were this close.
Yeah, I got this kit that has like, I don't know, like 10 or 8 different taxi designs. You just saw that a second ago. So I was trying to like mix them up. I think they're like New York taxis. Jay can probably confirm that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
They looked about right.
Yeah, I mean, they're just yellow cars, so taxis, you know. So I try to like mix them up a bit so that they don't look the same. And you know, for the most part, just adding random trash cans. Not really random, but like in areas that I think would make sense to have them. And of course the expansion joints. I love these, and I'm using the grass version of the concrete expansion joints. I think those look a little bit more realistic than just the gray line.
Yeah.
I did try to.
They're eco-friendly too.
What?
They're eco-friendly.
They're eco-friendly.
Yes, yeah, they're very eco-friendly.
You're getting prepared for your purchase of green cities.
Yeah. They do cut on emissions because you know the plants. They're not cut on emissions, but like make the air quality better. Oh, okay. So here, this corner, this is such a dumb thing to say. This corner here is something that I was just doing this random parking lot curve. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna maybe add like a police station here or something, and then I realized, hey, let's do like a VIP entrance. And I guess this is where the porches that we talked about in a few episodes ago come out from. This is where like all the VIPs will load their private jets or their first class.
Their first class tickets.
That one taxi
Who's the sucker that showed up in a yellow cab
over the side of the parking lot?
What an idiot!
Wow.
Yeah, that will be me. This is like where YouTubers who get like first class tickets but can't afford it. Yeah, that's how they get to the airport in yellow taxis on the VIP tarmacs, but terminals. I mean, I ended up switching that with like a red Ford GT, I think, not a Ford GT, the Mustang.
Oh, nice.
So that it would look a bit more realistic. I do like. I think in this episode I added. You Flux added in the episode before just a whole bunch of cars that were not part of the collection, and I think they added a lot more realism. I had to tone down the colors a bit because it was like literally a rainbow.
Yeah.
But
so it's like a bright, like a lime green Aston Martin.
Yes,
like,
there's a very light. Yeah, that one is kind of crazy. So for the most part, it's all black limousines and town cars in here. And I'm also adding this. So okay, I have to explain about this. So this like fences that I'm adding here. In my mind, I was like, okay, so the main part is where like the VIP would enter, and that whole fenced area in the back is where the photographers, like the paparazzis, would be.
Oh, okay.
You are from LA, huh?
I guess, yeah. I mean, I've seen that at LAX a couple of times. It doesn't have such a nice entryway like this, by the way. It's the VIP entrance of LAX is like literally unmarked doors in the middle of the terminal, and you just suddenly see a lot of people with huge lenses taking photos of some random people getting into black cars like this one. So that's kind of where the idea came from.
I got myself upgraded to the VIP entrance at JFK once.
Did someone take a picture of you?
Literally, it's like no, nobody wanted a picture. I couldn't believe it.
Did you?
But I like the.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you notice that sign?
You shrunk that.
I grabbed.
Nice. I was getting ready. I'm like, oh boy, I'm gonna get to rip. I'm freezing the wrong terminal. I'm like, that says Terminal 4, and this is not, or whatever it was.
Yeah, no, I lowered it,
but
so it doesn't matter.
Nice.
It only shows FBS. So the whole point of this is that people taking photos of VIPs will also get the logo in the back, so you can promote the airport.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, everybody. Celebrities fly through FBS.
Exactly. Yes.
That's like the motto.
Don't forget to fly through FBS. At the end, I don't think I caught this on camera, but I added to some of the parking spaces here. For some reason, I think one of you added some news vans. So I ended up parking a few news vans.
Oh yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I added like all the sets of the cars that I was using, and one of them is like like utility vehicles and commercial vehicles or something. So yeah.
I mean, they were great because I parked. And they're all terribly parked. You'll see them in the cinematics. But they have
news vans are badly parked.
Oh yeah, they're like there's a VBC band that is just like parked, like covering like 3 spots at once. I did that on purpose because I know the BBC doesn't know how to park. That makes no sense. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of comments from people from the UK saying no, the BBC knows how to park. Anyways. Here I'm trying to do like a little park that is not like super crazy. It's a bit more modern, but just trying to sort of bring that back together with sort of following the same theme, curves, a few little trees that are not huge.
I believe those are known in airports as pet relief areas.
Oh, that makes sense. You're right.
You actually do see that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because I used some reference photos from a pet relief area.
Huh.
Yeah, that's been on my secret list of here's a stupid idea that I want to make.
I think there's
and I'm not going to tell you guys because I want to keep them for myself.
Well, there's room for more though. It's just so you know.
That's true.
Yeah. In fact, I've seen those in between the terminal, in between the ramp and the front entrance kind of thing. After you drop off your bags, you can take your dog there. So it's no, you don't go back outside. It's part of, at least in LAX.
I've seen them, and this is gross, inside of terminals. It's a little piece of AstroTurf with a fake fire hydrant in the middle.
That makes sense. Anyways, here, replace all those shiny red lights with some very neutral, bland, vanilla lights, which they look amazing.
They're still great.
Yeah.
They're nice. They're LEDs. We're very environmentally friendly.
Well, that's the other thing. I didn't want to put down the incandescent lights. I wanted to keep things a bit more. Cause I feel usually they use very bright white LEDs for these kinds of builds.
Yeah.
And here, this is where you saw there a second ago, just adding some of these walls underneath the freeways to sort of pack everything together and not also have to detail underneath it.
That stuff I love those walls and things. I started using them, I think, in between the time where you first sent screenshots. I started using them myself, and just we need the networks. We need highways that come on walls themselves.
Yeah, absolutely, we do.
Just to save that even.
But as the music is starting to play in the background, the outro music, that is, man, I thought I had some more clips of me detailing just parks, but oh well, you'll get to see the cinematics in just a second. I would like to ask you to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and also don't forget to tune in next week to Flux's channel, where episode 12?
Not 12.
11.
10.
Wow, I'm getting really ahead of time. Will take place, so make sure to subscribe to him. The week after, it will be episode 11 on Beast Google Havzen's channel as well, so all those links will be in the description. But by now I'm sure you've subscribed to both of them, but I still have to say all these things for new people, so yeah. But that's all for now. I would like to thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next one. there, and welcome to another episode of FBS. I'm T there. Let's rewind to like 20 seconds, maybe. I don't know if we can do that.
I'm on exactly 20 seconds.
Let me go frame by frame because I am not there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on 19 as well.
It would have been so much easier to start over.
Yeah.